to the Geek Branch podcast. It's a new week, which means new info from us guys. This first episode is going to be about the gaming pulse and about Matt dropping things. So there was actually quite a bit that was going on during this week with gaming. We have about 5 topics. So for our video viewers, there will be a 2-part for this, because I have a feeling we're going to go over it's probably going to take about an hour and a half altogether, I think. Especially with the first topic, Devontae is actually going to be extremely talkative during this one because he's pretty upset.
30 minutes.
Yeah, he was pretty upset by the news. And then for our audio listeners, they will get to hear all of this on the same day. They don't have to wait a day apart. They'll hear it right on time. So if you are an audio listener or you're a person that's watching on video for the first time, just to let you know, we are available on Spotify. We're available on Anchor. We're available on Google Podcasts. We have Apple Podcasts. We have them all. And if we don't have them, please leave a comment and let us know, and we'll make sure we have your podcast of choice here on the Geek Branch podcast. All right, guys, let's get to the first topic, the one that has upset us all, except for maybe Dane. It is Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed till May 2020. Along with that, because it has been delayed, we have had Ghost of Tsushima delayed as well, and I ruined it. It's okay. 2 and 18 now.
Okay, so here's a very important.
Nobody's keeping count.
No, but here's a very important thing about the Japanese language. For a lot of times, the T is silent, like Tsubasa and Tsunami.
It actually makes a S sound.
The Tsushima? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Ghost of Tsushima.
We're going to teach you about some Japanese culture.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. But on to the actual topic, other than my terrible ability to pronounce things. I realized I didn't turn on those lights. Oh, well, we'll keep them off this week.
Stewart.
Yeah. So the
people demand lights, Tim.
Yes. Well, I can't reach over there right now.
Catch it during the break.
Yeah, we'll get it during the break. Naughty Dog, who has been the people who's been developing Last of Us Part 2, they're a wonderful company that's made nothing but masterpiece after masterpiece, in our opinions. They need a little bit more time without pressuring their workers, which I'm totally okay with. I get it. You know, they want to make sure they have a complete product before they send it out. And they'd also want to make sure that the people developing it are not too stressed out. They're actually living a life and they're not sleeping at work.
That's what they say, but it's still probably a development hell excuse. Probably.
I don't know. I'm sure there's something that they need to fix and it's taking longer than they realized.
Joel's beard's not quite the way it needs to be.
Yes. It's not full enough.
Well, first off, they need to export that out to like the animators for Zootopia. I need to see every hair follicle.
What is with you in Zootopia, man?
It's a masterpiece
of animation.
Are you like a furry and I didn't know it?
No.
Hey, I know liking Zootopia has nothing to do with furries.
I know, but I'm just saying he's like obsessed with Zootopia.
Because it is an animation masterpiece. I don't care what anyone tells me.
This is the one time you'll see me and Dan agree.
Yeah, I mean, it is very beautiful. Disney was out to prove that they're just as good as their Pixar division. Disney Animation.
Hair follicle.
Yes, I understand.
Good, but I wouldn't compare it to everything else.
It doesn't matter that the story wasn't no. Everything doesn't have to be Zootopia style. Everything needs Zootopia effort.
Yeah. Well, that's Naughty Dog does put a lot of effort into their stuff.
All right, and if I want somebody to animate anything that is furred or has hair, I will go talk to the people that animated Zootopia.
Are you going to ask them how many layers of skin did they put on the characters?
Look, all I got to say is Old Man Joel needs to be in high definition.
So you need to see, look up at his arm and see if he has any dry skin flakes and stuff like that and blisters.
I'll take it. It's the apocalypse. I respect it.
Do we have an idea how old Joel is? Mid-60s?
I would assume he's probably late 50s, early 60s, because in the first game, he's 40s, right?
Late 30s, early 40s, I would think.
Yeah, no, I thought he was mid 40s in the first game because it was a 20-year jump from when the game started to when he was with Ellie.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, Devontae, would you like to tell us why you're so upset?
Yeah, so I'm not too much upset about The Last of Us. Like, that's understandable. Like, what
It
really
affect it?
grinds my gears is that Ghost of Tsushima was pushed back as well.
Wow.
I understand they don't want to release like their final 2 games to showcase the PS4's power at the same time. They don't want anything to overlap. That's great. That's fantastic. I don't care. I just want the game.
He wanted it like yesterday.
Like, this is from Sucker Punch, and if you know anything about Sucker Punch, you know Infamous, you know particle effect, you know superpowers, you know a good game, and that's what we need because PS4 hasn't had any good
I
games.
also would
so
like
far.
to see them actually make a game that's not Infamous.
Okay, wait.
I mean, they've made other games, but it's just
controversial statement.
I mean,
them.
yeah, they've done what, Sly Cooper, and they've done Infamous, and what else have they done?
didn't they do the Killzone series? Weren't they the
I
ones
think
that did
so.
Killzone?
I don't think
so.
they did Killzone. That was a different studio.
That was Gorilla something.
Oh yeah, that's Guerrilla Studios. My apologies.
Well, to say because my estimation of them is about to increase if they did Killzone.
Oh,
No.
I mean, I need to throw this out here because it's completely and totally random. Last week we said that Grant Morrison and Alan Moore both did Watchmen. We were wrong.
Way wrong.
It was just Alan Moore,
Right.
And I forget who the artist was that worked on it.
Well, we were talking about some of the late greats. Well, not all late greats, but my point being is some of the greats. And it was Frank Miller, it was Grant Morrison, and it was Alan Moore. And we ended up getting confused there. But it was definitively Alan Moore that did Watchmen.
Yeah, they've essentially just made Sly Cooper and Infamous with a mix of some other stuff. Like apparently they helped with Street Fighter X Tekken, and then they also made Rocket, Robot on Wheels. That was in 1999, so that was like
Yeah, I was gonna
PlayStation
say-
1 days.
So presumably Ghost of Tsushima got pushed back to fall 2020 release. And as
that
we know,
far?
yeah,
Yep.
And it's going to come out behind it. It's not coming out before it. So
So
Yeah, that's
he's
definitely gotta be
super
a PS.
upset. But my thing to him is you've waited this long, and
Yeah.
it's probably not coming out until August now, and we're probably getting the PlayStation 5. I wouldn't say September. I'm thinking more of end of October, beginning of November.
November 13th.
Somewhere around there, around
Yeah.
on your birthday.
I was upset. Like, I had to think about it because the game has been in development for a while now. And
Yeah.
It's been in development for PS4. So any hope of like PS5
Version.
fully powered version is out the door. Like, we can get a port. That's about it.
Well, we don't know how the PlayStation 5 is going to work with. I mean, we know that they're going to be able to play PS4 games, but the system, it could be more along the lines of you having a crappy computer and then you get a new built up computer and your PS4 game runs butter smooth on a PS5. Like if you upgrade it to a new computer, it has maybe new texture packs, stuff like that. It would look still much better from PS4 to PS5, I would think.
As good as
Hardware is not
Ghost
equal to
look, have
software.
we-
Yeah. Is I could say that about last gen with The
Yeah, but
Last of Us and Beyond Two Souls. They still stand up.
You know
to,
what
like,
I
top tier PS4
Yeah, but you know what I
games.
mean though. Like when you get a computer that can't handle 60 frames per second and 4K,
I got you now.
you know, now you're going to have, because even the PS4 Pro is not true 4K. It's checkerboxed 4K, which is a bunch of BS. It was a joke of an upgrade.
Fluff.
console peasants.
Yes, I agree, but I still,
This is an exclusive, my man. This isn't just any game.
Hey, exclusivity is not a positive thing. It's a negative. It is a
it's how
downside.
you keep a
Don't
business
forget where you
alive
come from,
in the gaming
Dave.
community.
We all came from console. Pay your
Yeah.
respects to Grandpappy PlayStation.
I'll pay my respects to the Commodore.
Grandpappy Nintendo is more like it.
Nah, I'll pay my respects to the
I grew
Commodore
up on the
before I pay.
PlayStation, so
But PlayStation exclusives are great. God of War, Ratchet and Clank.
It doesn't matter how great the games are. The exclusivity is the
They-
issue.
they will eventually go and be spread out to everybody else because God of War, like, wasn't God of War 3 on Xbox?
No.
Was it not?
God
The
of
new
War
God
has
of
always
War
been
was.
PlayStation. No.
No, the new
No,
God
no,
of
no.
War was a PlayStation exclusive too.
No God of War has ever been on anything except for PlayStation.
Well, then I'm very mistaken.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever.
Look, all I gotta say is that no one will ever be able to use exclusivity as a positive for me. It does not improve the PlayStation in any way.
It's,
It does for me.
I mean, it's
When it's a
For
better
people-
exclusive than
yeah.
Xbox, it does.
yeah for people who actually enjoy the exclusives when they're trying to decide between which console to get. It does actually make a difference for people. I know you're a PC gamer. I get it. I play PC, but I also play console, so I see both sides of the aisle. When it came to Xbox and PlayStation, with this current generation, it was really a letdown,
Well, look, all I gotta say is the exclusivity,
especially Xbox's side.
has the opposite effect on me.
Yeah.
So when somebody markets, "Oh, you should get a PlayStation 4. It has God of War as an exclusive," that does not make me want a PlayStation 4 more. It makes me want a PlayStation 4 less. Is there-
Ironically, you are an exclusive, Dane. There's
Yeah.
only one Dane. You're exclusive to us.
Yeah, and that doesn't make me like the human race more.
But you're valuable. It makes you more valuable.
That's what they do. I mean, even Google's recognizing that with their new system with Google Stadia. They just built their first studio to make exclusives for their system.
Yeah.
Well, not system, but streaming service, and they're planning on building more. I mean, exclusives do draw people in. It's just like with streaming services. With streaming services, people don't just go to a streaming service to have streaming service. They come for what's in the package.
Yeah.
I want this game.
And when you get something like
Which
Titans
I respect.
Yeah.
out of your streaming service, and I'm specifically referring to the first season,
Yeah.
because the second season has done leaps and bounds to get ahead of where
Well,
it was.
He's talking about DC Universe. The funny thing about you saying that, even though you hate the first season of Titans, it was actually because there's like companies that actually gauge the how often a show is mentioned in social media. When the first season of Titans came out, it was part of the top 3 consistently. In fact, a lot of times it was the top 1 most talked about show. Even though you hated it, a lot of people
I mean, it was talked
enjoyed
about because it was bad.
No, a
Tim.
lot of people talked about it because they
Hate
liked
watch.
it.
Hate
People enjoy
watch.
a lot of crappy shows, okay? People actually enjoy Arrowverse, okay?
Yeah,
It was
God.
decent at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning,
All
but
right,
now
we're-
there's people that still love it. Anyways, back to the games.
I want the game. That's what I'm upset about. I've waited for the game. There's been no updates on the game.
And I've been annoying him
Months.
because I'm excited that
I want
it's
the
been
game.
delayed because it just gives me a reason not to
Have-
buy the
I-
PS4 version
haven't
until
seen the
PS5
trailer-
comes out.
Go watch the trailer for Ghost of Tsushima.
I haven't seen a reason to get excited about it so far.
have.
I have. Have you not watched
I
the
haven't
E3
se-
trailer?
Okay, so I haven't seen the newest trailer. What I've seen so far is, outside of the fact that it's done by Sucker Punch, and I love Sucker Punch. That's the main reason I even want to play the game. Outside of that, all I've seen is walking simulator. That's
Bruh,
all
you
I've
get
seen.
to play as a samurai. What are you talking about?
Like, that's all I've seen.
What good samurai game do we have?
Look, we haven't had one in a while, which is fine. But
Samurai Warriors doesn't count. It's trash.
Neither that Ubisoft game, whatever it's called, I don't remember.
Like the last samurai game we had was Neo.
Code of Honor or For Honor. That's the one.
That's trash too. Well, it's good. It's not trash. I'm sorry. It's
well, it's not a samurai
But it's
simulator.
not what you're looking for out of a samurai game.
Well, it's a combat simulator, not a samurai simulator.
The synopsis says you get your own fighting style. You discover the way of the ghost after everything is taken from you. Like, does that not sound appealing? Do you not want to play the way of the ghost?
That does sound appealing. I'm just saying, I have not seen anything that has drawn me in.
All
what
I
do you
got-
look for in games, man? That's the question. What are you looking for in a game?
I'm looking for compelling storytelling,
They got that.
game mechanics I haven't seen before.
They got that.
They got that. Have you not seen how the combat works with?
Yeah, with the
I'm telling
sword,
you
and you
guys,
can
I
like
haven't-
deflect.
It's
and-
similar to the way that they did do Sekiro. The way you have to fight and stuff.
I haven't seen
the
anything. for
game
Ghosts.
demo for the recent E3. Well, not the recent E3, but it's
E3
just-
back in May. No,
Yeah, it's been a while.
June. Yeah.
The only thing I've seen from Ghost so far is he's walking through a field, and then he walks up to a tree, and then I think he fights a couple people, and like nothing just super stood out to me.
So you didn't see the trailer where he fought like his friend?
No.
And like, yeah. So
and then
you missed
the house
some
is on fire and
gameplay.
all that.
Yeah, you missed some gameplay, and it was
Yeah.
key to like the hype.
That excitement. Yeah. There's a lot of attention to detail with that game, like for sure. Like they're definitely pushing the PS4 to its limits.
Hyper realism.
Well, like it looks
about.
really,
Yeah.
really good. Like I'm not gonna lie, like it looks really, really good.
This is like Samurai Witcher. I hate to do that, but Witcher is top tier.
Dude, Witcher
and
looks so good.
It's the only thing we can
Yeah.
compare anything to because they took their time.
Well, I was feeling more like Samurai God of War, but about the same thing.
Samurai God of PS4 God of War.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
point. Though. I'm just saying it felt more closer to God of War than it did The Witcher. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would say more along those lines because it's more of a cinematic style game.
And the camera is phenomenal.
I don't know. Does it be?
You want to play a movie? Play Ghost of Tsushima.
I mean, I played God of War on PS4. That was pretty close to a movie.
This is close,
Yeah,
if not better.
but that's why I always like the Uncharted games because it's like I'm playing a movie.
Yeah.
That's dope.
They're
And
too
some
much
people-
like a movie. For
Yeah,
me.
people like him hate it because of how much it's like a movie.
Dude, I was watching.
It's a better Indiana Jones movie in my opinion.
I was watching stealth gameplay for.
I like it better
Uncharted 4.
than a lot of. Well, I
So good.
it's all better than Crystal Skull.
Everything's better than Crystal Skull.
Yeah,
A dog could make a movie and it'd be better than Crystal Skull. Proceed.
What's upsetting is like I don't know what's coming out next year in that release frame, so it could be overshadowed.
August?
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk's coming out in April.
I know, but it's going to overshadow everything that year.
Well,
if
it's
they drop, like-
Cyberpunk's going to clearly win Game of the Year next year.
yeah, that's
I mean, I know that's too early to say.
we don't have to vote. you
Yeah,
know?
CD Projekt Red doesn't put out a game that doesn't get Game of the Year.
yeah, exactly.
And it's only because they take their time, which is.
But you do have a point.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's coming out in August of 2020. Nintendo usually waits a few months before they announce a game.
Bayonetta 6.
What if some random
Just-
game like a new IP drops and it's what's hot then?
Yeah.
And it just overshadows Ghost of
Or
Tsushima.
or a whole bunch of, the PS5 is going to be announcing all of its new games that are going to be coming out a few months later.
Well, next year is just a year of gaming, period. So
Yes.
you're going to be one amongst many titles, which I hope is good for you. I'm on Matt's perspective where it's not what I'm looking for in a game.
Yeah.
That's because,
I didn't say that.
well, no.
I didn't say that at
What-
all.
You said you just weren't
yeah,
excited
you weren't-
I
for
said I
it.
wasn't excited. I didn't say it wasn't what I was looking for. I just said I wasn't excited.
Feisty.
My bad.
It's time to
My
Don't
point
put words
being-
in my mouth, dang.
Well, actually, the words from Devontae's
Wow.
mouth coming over. But my point being is, okay, to hold it all together,
Follow him here.
follow me, yes, is that what I was looking for, right, wasn't necessarily a samurai action game, which is fine for me. I was looking for more of a samurai RPG, and it's going to be a little bit
More like Witcher
yeah, it's going to be
Samurai.
yeah, it's going to be
Like
a
you
little
were.
bit. It's going to be a little bit more linear,
Yeah.
but more combat amazing. It's going to definitely have a lot of great mechanics out of it.
Yeah.
Not what is selling me. See,
Yeah.
I came to like the area of samurai for my own style of Bushido, not my own style of fighting. I don't even like katanas. So we're just there, But
It's funny that you mentioned that because the Way of the Ghost, like we have no information on that whatsoever. That could be like
We don't know the
shinobi
code. Yeah.
improvised samurai
Well,
combat.
I mean, they strictly focused on samurai. So it limits the number of weapons that a samurai has access to.
But in the trailer, he uses smoke bombs, fireworks, typical shinobi stuff with his sword skill.
All I gotta say is that if that's the case, then it's kind of a misnomer.
To me, the
Because-
only samurai that matters is the samurai in Cyberpunk.
Street samurai.
Yes.
Don't discredit my game.
I'm
Tim.
sorry. I'm
Like
just,
Cyberpunk gets its time. Like,
yeah.
It's,
Well,
it's
your
a
game
whole
is
on-
is getting put on the shelf and forgotten
it
about
put me
until
on back
August.
burner, man.
Yeah, they obviously. Well, my thing is I think that they're not certain if that's going to be a big hit or not,
it
and
is for me.
and they want to
It's
make
very
sure
niche.
nothing. Yeah, they don't want to mess it up. They want to make sure it has its own time. So, Last of Us Part 2 is going to be an instant hit, and people are going to keep buying it, and they don't want people to forget about Ghost of Tsushima.
Keep buying it. Like they
My
force
thing
you to play
is-
it.
The game's probably already pretty well done. Why didn't they just switch each other? Why didn't they just go ahead and release Ghost in February?
See what I'm talking about?
That would have been the ideal time because February is pretty well up until around April and May. 2020 is pretty dead.
These
gaming.
developers know what's coming out
Yeah,
in advance, so they had an idea of like,
yeah.
hey,
Because 2020, once you get to April, it's like you better get on the hype train because there's going to be like 30 games that are coming out. Like, bam, bam. You know, there's a lot of games coming out once April starts.
Well, look, if I was a producer, one of my hardcore rules would be never move up my release date. We might move it back, but
Well,
we're
they
never gonna move it up.
never set a release date.
So it was TBA 2020.
Yeah, TBA 2020. They never said. And if it was already done,
It could have been internal,
yeah,
just not publicly released. But I would never ever move up my release date.
yeah. I guess it was planned probably for May or something like that, and they were
Just
planning
want
on
the game,
announcing
man.
it during their February event.
Just want the game because like we're gonna get like a new controller with PS5. Like
That report could be false, though. It was never an official report from
Well, if you remember,
Sony admitting that.
if you remember April Fools, man, we thought this game was getting canceled. So the April Fools prank was that the
Yeah.
game was canceled, which was horrible.
I
It's
didn't
a
believe
horrible
that.
Frank. Yeah.
But regardless, that was the thought was.
So for all you could know, there's two possibilities that could happen for this game come February, because we believe that they're going to have a huge Sony event in February revealing the PS5.
You heard it here first.
Yes. So during that time, they could say, they could go with the old Nintendo route and say, this game's out today, which I don't think they would do for a $60 game, but they might say this game is coming out in March, something like that. And the other possibility they could go, instead of it being delayed until August, they could say this game is now a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
I don't know, man. Like I was wishing for that.
They
but
keep saying it's not, but they could say it's not a PlayStation 5 exclusive. They could go the route of it's going to be on PS4. If you want to wait until the PlayStation 5, if you go ahead and buy the PS4 version, it will be upgraded to the PlayStation 5. What would be considered a PlayStation 5 version of the game, since they
see that.
delayed it for so long.
I could see that.
Yeah. So they could still get people to buy the game, because the user base for PlayStation 4 obviously is bigger for before PS5 gets to build up its base. So
Right,
it could be a
because-
selling point for the ones that know that they're going to go and get PlayStation 5.
But with these big games, they need that press campaign.
Yeah.
So that takes time. So
Yeah.
we're gonna see a lot of Last of Us stuff before the summertime, before
That's
that
true.
released, and then after that blows over, then we'll get Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm kind of conflicted because Last of Us Part 2 is delayed till May.
Yeah.
I can wait 6 months or so until it
End of
comes
May.
out, until PlayStation 5 comes out. But I know people are going to spoil the game for me.
It's so frustrated, man.
Yeah.
Because like, why would
I hate
you-
how long they're waiting, because I was one of those suckers that went ahead and bought Last of Us 1 on the PS3 literally a few months before the PS4 came out, and then they came out with a PS4 remastered version. I don't want to be a sucker again. Your thoughts?
I don't have these issues.
Yeah, Mr. PC Master Race.
Look,
You own a PlayStation though.
yes, I did. I bought one for $100 from
Yeah.
a friend as a favor to that friend.
Uh-huh.
And I bought Monster Hunter Worlds, DB Fighter, and DBZ Fighter, and one other game. And those are the only games on PS4 I own. And that's because I wanted to play with my friends.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
Weird.
that's the big reason why I get certain consoles and stuff like that.
Oh, Persona 5. There it is. That was
Yeah.
the last game.
Yeah,
Now,
because you know that's
Persona
not
5 is
coming
so
on
good.
PC.
Yeah.
Because
Well, no,
Atlas
no,
is
no.
so weird about that stuff.
Well, first off, okay, it is perfectly possible for it to be on PC because I have ROMmed Personas.
Right. But legally speaking,
But yeah,
Atlas has got one of these unspoken
rules about being console only. Yeah,
yeah. Wasn't Catherine recently put on the PC?
maybe. But Catherine was a horrible game, so you won't ask me about it.
I just want Ghost of Tsushima.
I know. Well, on to the next topic, which is a brief impressions on Outer Worlds and Call of Duty. Call of Duty will be much shorter because I was the only person that bought the game. But me and Matt both bought Outer Worlds. Well, what we did was we got Xbox Game Pass for PC. It's only $5 a month. It's it's got a bunch of games already, so I figured, hey, why not? It's cheap. It's cheaper than buying a $60 game where I can play a whole bunch of other games. Anyway, so I played probably about 10 hours of it. A lot of fun. It brings me back old memories of when Fallout was fun for me. It's not as open world as some of the newer open world games. People might view it as dated, but I enjoy the charm of datedness of its open world. It's more hub world like. It's more similar to how Borderlands is designed. It's linear without trying to make it obvious that it's linear. There's still a lot of different choices you can make, but at the end of the day, you're going on a certain path. You have to go to certain planets before you can proceed to the next part of the main story. Your thoughts on the game so far?
I was never a really big fan of the Fallout series. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and throw that out there. I know people who love the Fallout series, but it took a long time for me to get into it.
Have you played 1 and 2?
They're so different from 3 and 4, by the way.
No.
Okay. Proceed.
That he wanted to make sure because they're very different from the ones that Bethesda made.
Mm-hmm. I vastly prefer 1 and 2 to 3 and 4.
So like, what's this
In New
game
Vegas.
Because I know nothing about this game.
You can go ahead.
You are a guy that's been in hibernation for 70 years. You get dropped on a planet because there's this crazy scientist. It's like you're the only hope for humanity.
Yeah, so they were like a colony that they were preparing from Earth. And so all these planets have already been, societies have been formed and stuff like that. Most of them are starving and running out of supplies. And so this crazy scientist figures out that there's like a whole bunch of people in this huge ship that was supposed to land a long time ago to colonize. And they're some of the Earth's smartest people. And so for whatever reason, your character is the one that ends up getting ejected. And he's tasking you with basically getting the supplies you need to wake up the rest of the colony. And so you end up crash landing on this planet, and you got to get your way off that planet. You got to get some parts. So you got to work with these people in the society there, and you go from there, and you have to keep going and doing more and more, go to different places to be able to reach your end goal, essentially.
So to add a little bit more depth to that explanation. So in traditional Fallout standard, you are a chosen one.
Yes.
Okay. You're not necessarily called the chosen one. The only chosen one was actually in Fallout 1.
Yes.
But whatever your name is, the Courier, the Wanderer, whatever they're going to call you, you're the chosen one. And so you have this system of planets that is basically the outer worlds of this colonization program that has functionally failed. The support systems for this type of colonization have either degraded, fallen into anarchy, their leadership is incompetent, yada, yada. These people will not survive the next, century or two because they just don't have the capability to.
They didn't have the leaders that were supposed to help them start colonizing.
There is a colonization ship that has basically an entire group of select people that are doctors, scientists, leaders, politicians, basically the leadership cast. And what has happened is that they're still stuck in basically hibernation or, cyber sleep, whatever you want to call it.
And you were one of the smaller, you weren't like, because you get the choice of what your background was. And you don't have to be one of those
RPG style.
Yeah, a classic RPG style. So my guy's an electrician, so he's not like some doctor or something like that.
But
he's still
skill.
necessary. Yeah.
So you were one of the people that were deemed necessary to help establish this colony ship. You may not be one of the primary colonists, but you're one of the support for that colony ship.
Yeah.
So when you would have landed and started building up the infrastructure for wherever that colony ship was going, you would have been an electrician that would have been critical for the infrastructure. What did you pick to be?
Engineer.
An engineer, also exactly the same.
Yeah.
So these people, regardless of what you chose, are necessary, but you are the chosen one that has been sent out here not only to see if you can survive in the outer worlds, but to reestablish some form of civilization in these outer worlds and allow the other colonists that are stuck in sleep like you were to functionally integrate into the society, because you don't know if it's going to work. These societies aren't necessarily stable. Some of these people won't accept you. Some of them will definitely not accept 100-something, colonists coming down and saying, we're now the leaders of your, civilization.
It's so bad for these colonies that there's this guy, you haven't gotten to this point yet, but you end up going to this other planet. You need to essentially, you have to go for a distress signal. With that distress signal, you find the scientist, and he's working on a revolutionary diet toothpaste. Well, with that diet toothpaste, it makes it to where you're not nearly as hungry as you would be. And so because they're having such issues with food supply and stuff like that, you're supposed to, he loses his basically his life's work on that stuff over at this plant, and it's been taken over by raiders essentially. And so he tasks you with going getting that formula. Well, that formula, you could change just a little bit to it, and it can also be the most efficient jet fuel in the world. And so with the choices in the game and stuff, when I got to that point, when I went over there, I cut a deal with the raiders to where I let them free because they were in a dogfight with the scientist's security guard company and the raiders. And so I worked out a deal between the two of them. I convinced basically the security people to leave, and I convinced the raider person to hand me over the formula. Well, I saved everybody. I went over to the scientist, and because the way it, just like with Fallout with dialogue point system, my points were high enough to where I lied and convinced the scientist that the raiders stole the formula and I never had it. Well, the person that tasked me to go take care of the distress signal, I went back to them and I sold the formula as jet fuel for them. So there's a lot of open choices like Fallout. A lot of fun when you get to make choices like that.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Well, it's true RPG style, which
Yeah.
is what we want out of these types of games.
It's a lot of fun.
It's closer to old Fallout than Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 ever were. So I appreciate that.
Well, just for people who don't know, the company who made this game is Obsidian. They're known for making great RPGs, and they're most known for not only making Pillars of Eternity, but also they made the best Fallout game that was after Fallout 1 and 2. I know you think those are the best, but the best out of Fallout 3 and 4, it's actually not those two. It's Fallout New Vegas.
Which
they
is,
made the best one.
When you saw me make that list earlier, I said 3 and 4. I did not mention New Vegas.
New Vegas is fantastic.
Yes, it is far closer to the old Fallout than Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 ever were.
True, more it takes more respect to the old school RPGs like Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate,
Right.
Different ones like that.
And so that's the reason why I was very excited for this game. And that's the reason why I was also very tragically sad when, I was waiting for the release day. I looked on Steam and it was 2020. And I was just like,
what? Yeah, I had to explain to him that it's, I don't think it's an Epic exclusive. I think it's just a Microsoft Store exclusive for a little bit. So you can, for our PC fans, if you want to play it on PC, you have to buy it via Microsoft, or you can get their Xbox Game Pass for PC subscription, which right now is the reason why it's only $5 is because it's currently in beta. If you're to do the Xbox Game Pass via Xbox, it's $10 a month.
Yeah, so it seems as if I am going to be joining that crowd because I really wanted to enjoy this game on PC, and there is a way to. So I am going to go that route.
And it's not limited like it's like through a streaming service or something like that.
It's not Google Stadia.
It's not Google Stadia, and it's not like they're forcing you to play it as if you're playing it on an Xbox. It gives you the liberty to mess with the settings, advanced settings, just as any other PC game. So you don't have to worry about them, because there has been companies where they've developed a game for console and then they bring it over to PC and they force you to be at 30 frames per second, even though your computer can clearly go way past.
Digimon Cyber Sleuth, I'm looking at you.
Yes, that's why I got it on the Switch instead of the PC, because I knew it'd be pointless on the PC.
Yeah, it's just a hard port, and hard ports are horrible.
Well, it was hard ported by Bandai Namco, so you know.
They didn't do any type of adjustment for PC. It's
No.
really horrible.
And then you got the polar opposite of companies like Bungie, who made sure they optimized Destiny 2 all the way for PC. Like, they did a fantastic job when that came out. And then I'm going to briefly talk about Call of Duty because I didn't play too much of it, but I did enjoy what I did play. Multiplayer is as I used to remember it. I haven't enjoyed a Call of Duty multiplayer game, like the multiplayer aspect, in a very long time. I played the last Black Ops where they tried to do the Battle Royale junk, and I played the World War II. I played those. I really didn't, and then Infinite Warfare. Didn't enjoy any of the gameplay multiplayer aspect to those games, but it has that fast, fluid feel of the old Modern Warfare games. You know what I mean? But not too fast, like Infinite,
Well,
where it was too much going on, where you're walking on walls and stuff like
the
that.
last games have always been Twitch shooters.
Yes.
And that's a big issue. And if you don't understand what that terminology means, it's that you have a split-second reaction to respond to somebody coming onto your screen. You have to basically have a twitch reflex that lets you bring line to sight and fire down sights to kill whatever you're trying to shoot at, or you will die.
That's still
it's
very much a possibility with this game, but me as a person who's not good at Twitch shooting, I was still able to get a decent amount of kills in, so it's not as bad as the other ones.
It's not
kill
telling.
streaks you get, Tim.
How many kill streaks? I only played like maybe an hour's worth, so I got one round. I got like 10 kills. I'm not great at the game.
Well, yeah. So, see, for me, right, I've always taken the option to use the machine guns, heavy
Yeah.
machine guns, light machine guns, as my weapon of choice in Call of Duty or just any shooting game.
Yeah.
And they are the epitome of not being a Twitch shooter
Right.
because they are so slow to bring to sight. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah,
get
that's like the worst one to pick for like the last previous ones.
Right. So I've basically been out of the market for those games for like 5 or 6 years, but I do plan on purchasing this game mostly because the campaign is just
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, they have a new engine for the Call of Duty games, and yeah, it looks like you're watching like an actual movie.
it's just miles and miles and miles and miles and miles ahead of what it used to be. So
Yes,
thank
and it was the storyline was actually pretty good too, with the where they're really trying to focus on the terrorism and stuff like that, but actually trying to not make it cartoony. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the Infinite Warfare storyline with Kevin Spacey was so cartoony to me, especially around the end. It just felt like it was one of those cheesy movies from like the 90s. This feels more modern for Modern Warfare.
Yeah, right.
Better than Modern Warfare 2.
I mean, I don't remember much of the storyline. I just remembered I really loved the multiplayer.
The story was amazing for Modern Warfare 2. Look, we haven't completed the game,
Yeah.
so I cannot pass.
This is
that
why
judgment.
this is why it's an impressions,
Yeah,
not a full review.
yeah, I cannot pass that judgment.
But between the two games, I have to say, I always judge how good a game is for me because I'm so ADD. I normally put the controller down on a game pretty quickly. I'm bad about not finishing games. When it came to Outer Worlds, I didn't want to put, well, it wasn't a controller, but I didn't want to put my mouse and keyboard down, essentially. I just wanted to keep playing, and
So you're
hours would pass.
holding your mouse and keyboard. up.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no,
like
no.
this, like a
Tim,
weirdo.
Tim, you're such a console. Listen, let me explain it to you. You didn't want to go AFK.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Wow.
This is how we do it for PC players.
Well, I
right?
actually do. My keyboard is one of those ones where you can lay it on your lap if you want to,
Mhm.
but I don't.
Fancy.
Even though I have one, I don't know why I bought it. I thought I was gonna like relax and sit back and have it like that. I can't do it. I have to be like right up onto the screen.
Mhm.
I'm like that with my console gaming too. Stacy has to yell at me because I'm like right here where my seat is. I will turn around and I will be playing this close on a essentially 70-inch screen TV.
Trying to lazy your eyes, huh?
Yeah, essentially. I'm trying to go blind at a young age.
Our generation.
Yes.
But anyway, so I think it's a good game as far as all things are concerned. It's not perfect, but it is a far improvement over the past 5 generations of Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty is this Call of Duty is definitely improved compared to the past previous ones. I think they finally figured out they need to go back to their roots and not try to do things too different, but not try to go too far back to their roots where they do World War II and copy off of Battlefield.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what they did.
Battlefield is so nice.
Battlefield's great, but Call of Duty doesn't need to compete with them in that aspect.
The 3 big shooters all had something special, right?
Yeah.
Battlefield was environmental effects. Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon was tactical based
Yes.
squad shooting.
Yes.
And then you had Call of Duty, which was definitively the best dueling shooting,
Yeah.
where you know, it's you versus this guy, you're going down, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So those are the 3 that have always been kind of just, you know, the kings of their own particular shooting arenas.
You can noob tube again.
Yeah, so we you definitively you definitively need to stay into your specialities. They do not need to try to, genre blend. Stay in your strong lanes. Don't go hopping into another lane.
I think Matt wants to say something. It just looked like you're
No, he was
itching.
enjoying the noob tube.
Yes.
Good, buddy.
With the noob tube though, speaking of that, also I played a couple of maps. My favorite map is Piccadilly. My brother-in-law hates that map because of how open it is, but I love it. Okay, so it's Piccadilly in it's London or whatever. Yeah, London. And so like it's an open square. So there's some raptors on the side of a building because they're working on the building in the map, So there's a lot of people that hide up there. So it's like the perfect spot to just throw some grenades. It like almost guarantees
catch a kill.
Yeah, it's guarantees a kill. He hates it because he's like, well, people are camping up there. I said, yeah, exactly. They're camping up there, so you can just throw a grenade up there.
Or you can be like me and just empty 100 bullets directly into the windows, and like eventually someone's gonna die up there. People have the tendency to be like, oh, look, it's a dark corner and I'm a rat. I'm going to go hide up there. I'm just like, I'm going to clear you out.
I know this is a small thing and a weird thing to be noticing from a Call of Duty game, but they actually have it to where you can open and close doors now.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yes.
It's a small immersion thing.
Yeah, they're adding some aspects from Battlefield and from really Rainbow Six as well.
Specifically just because, like, okay, environmental damage. Battlefield is the king of that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to collapse a building on someone, you can collapse a building on someone in Battlefield.
Right.
Call of Duty is taking some aspects of that and moving it over.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily bad, but like I hope they don't go the full Battlefield route.
No. They should be keeping to them being their own signature thing, but it is nice for them to add.
Right. Because I mean, how many times have we killed someone through a wall with full metal jacket rounds in Call of Duty, and obviously the wall didn't take any damage? It has like
it's very annoying.
Yeah, it has like 6 little bullet holes on it.
You can destroy stuff. Somewhat you can destroy stuff in the Call of Duty maps now,
Right?
Especially if you do airstrikes and stuff like that.
What was the game with the motion detector, which is one of the things you could have as an attachment? A motion detector let you hear people's footsteps and like see through walls. And there was, which game had?
I think it was. It might have been the new Black. No, it wasn't the new Black Ops
2. I think it was.
Yeah, it was like Black Ops 2 or 3.
So one of the best things about that was that, like, if you're very savvy with them, you can tell someone's on the opposite side of a wall of you.
Yeah.
And if you equipped your special ammo for your weapon as modified with full metal jacket, you don't lose damage penetration when you're shooting through a wall. So you literally just wall bang people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then like most of the damage is gone.
Right. The wall
bang.
Yeah, it's called wall bang.
Wow.
Anyway, more importantly,
Why?
so seriously, look, you haven't gotten into the culture, man. You got to get in there. Shooters are fun.
Not wall banging.
He plays he plays a lot of Battlefield. That's his thing.
Okay, but yeah. So anyway, as you finish,
I love Battlefield too, but
as you finish wall banging them, more importantly,
Wow.
there's no damage to the wall besides like 6 or 7 bullet holes. In reality, you just put enough rounds through that wall to take it down. I'm finally happy to see that that's, been modified to an extent. You're gonna love that term, right? Use it. It's
I'm not using it.
It's what it's for. If you kill someone who's behind a wall, you're a wall
I'm
banger.
uncomfortable. I will never scream that over a headset. I just wall banged him, bro. Like that.
Bruh.
Did you ever use the term teabag?
No.
Yes,
man.
I did.
All right, see, there you go. Wall bang, teabag.
So where we live there used to be a game store I went to when I was probably around when I was like 12 or 13. And I'm not talking about real world. I'm talking about the period of Renaissance when it was Gamers Oasis. Shout out to, if Joe ever watches this, that was my favorite game store back in the day. And we would do the old school Halo and Call of Duty LAN parties there. And we would be teabagging each other like all the time. And we knew who each other was.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
that was old school gaming culture, like for sure during those days.
Halo.
Yeah, Halo 2
remember
and 3.
How many people have we shanked with energy swords? Raise your hand. You know what I'm saying? Just get in there, man.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll go to the next topic so we don't rant on too much about the good old days of Halo 2 and 3.
Well,
and
we will nostalgia trip.
yes, we will. So the next bit of news, is Overwatch 2 has been leaking slowly through.
Blizzard's trying to save itself.
Yeah, Blizzard's trying to save itself. And it was actually the news article, the news report was by ESPN, which is weird, but ESPN is really big into the esports stuff now. And so they're really trying to be hip and cool and try to, be up to date with, I guess, that stuff. Anyway, so they were the ones that reported it, and I pulled it from IGN, actually. And they showed that there is a new Overwatch logo, and it has, what's his name? Starts with an L.
Lucio.
By the logo. Does he look a little different to you in that picture?
A little browner.
I mean, he's still about as Brazilian as he always was.
He just looks like he might be a little bit older. Maybe by like a year.
Skin tone.
Yeah.
He's Brazilian. I mean, a lot of Brazilians have a lighter skin tone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally like a mixed people.
I'm just saying he looks accurate for his ethnicity this time.
He does.
Okay.
So according to their report, and also an image attained by Overwatch YouTuber Stylosa, there appears to be a instead of the 2 to 4 primary skills, there's now a skill tree. So as we can see, there is a set of talents you can pick from as the particular character you pick levels. And so the one he has, and it's on his Twitter, if you want to look up his Twitter handle, it has when you go to a certain level. So level 1 for Tracer, you would have the choice between adaptive reload, which is the pulse pistol's reload when using any ability, or you can pick from Hindsight, which is recall causes damage to all recently damaged enemies. Or then you go down to level 10, level 20, and you get to pick. So they're trying to make it a little different with the skill, trying to add a skill tree to it. And the reason why they're doing that is because not only are you going to have the PvP mode, they're adding a PvE mission. So PvE is player versus environment. So they're trying to add a new mode to it with that. And then also with the PvE mode, they are going to have another new game mode called Push. We don't know much about it other than it will introduce a new map based on Toronto, Canada. We will see what that PvE mission is and what that new push mode is on November 1st, which is next Friday during, well, actually, when y'all see that, it'll be this Friday. You'll see it during BlizzCon. They'll be announcing their 30-second hero, which they believe is Echo is the name. And we'll hear when probably Overwatch 2 comes out and all the features that's going to have. Also, they're talking about that Diablo 4 will be announced and a Diablo 2 remastered. What's y'all's thoughts on a attempt at redoing Overwatch?
Well, I am amazed to see that they think that they can make Overwatch into a MOBA, because that's where it looks like it's becoming.
Well, the PvP aspect will still be a big part of it. But yeah, the MOBA aspect to it is definitely apparent, especially when you level the character and you can choose which
the skill tree.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
skill tree is more, it's not so much like an RPG, it's more like a MOBA skill tree.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, well, that seems kind of cool. PvE, which I don't think anyone actually asked for, but
I wouldn't mind them. I didn't want them to make an Overwatch 2. What I wanted them to do
was fix Overwatch.
No, more of making a story-driven game in the Overwatch world.
They had the potential.
They have these long cinematic trailers for the new characters. They have all kinds of cinematics for that prime for a story-oriented game or a animated movie.
And they look just as good Is Zootopia.
No,
in my opinion.
no.
Don't get him
They
in
do.
on that.
They do.
I mean, their animation does look great, but
Yeah,
there is a
sure,
lot more
but
detail
no.
to Zootopia. I'll give him that.
Look, I've seen them. All right, and I love Bastion's little one originally when he had the little when he was sitting down after the war for such a long
Mhm.
time, and it was cute, and I enjoyed it. And it ain't Zootopia.
I haven't played Overwatch in probably a
furry.
year or two. I haven't played Overwatch in forever.
I am friends with 3 furries. I am not one.
Yes,
It's
I'm.
going to come out.
Yeah, I'm pretty good friends with
No.
one of both of us. We're really good friends with someone whose significant other is a furry, and
Yes.
What's your favorite
they're
animal
as sweet as
name?
could be.
I'm a little bit tied between scorpions, snakes, and spiders.
Yeah, so you can't really be a furry.
Uh-huh.
That's the same with our. Okay, that brings me to a thought I forgot to mention. I know we talked about Cussler coming on over a week ago, and it wasn't able to work out.
Not a furry.
Not a furry. He's super into reptiles, lizard people,
Yeah,
kaijus.
I think he discovered a term for it, which once again, still not in this community. I think it's scaly or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
So-
That's him. It's not furry. It's scaly.
No,
What
still
is
not
life?
me.
What is life?
Welcome to our culture, man.
What is
Embrace
our
it.
culture?
Our
What?
culture.
So are
part
scalies
of
going to
that.
start having like
I mean, you're
conventions like
assuming that I
furries
am.
then?
I don't know. I'm not a part of the community.
It's the guy to ask.
Not me.
You seem like you're in the know.
I'm in the know because we know so many of them.
Dane is in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Ugh, you people are tragic.
Anyway, so Cussler is actually going to be coming this coming week. For y'all, it'll be when we discuss next week when we discuss about BlizzCon. So I figured it'd be the perfect time so he can talk about his weeb stuff, but he also has played plenty of Blizzard-oriented games. I know he's played Heroes of the Storm. I'm sure he's played WoW, and I'm sure he's played like Diablo and StarCraft, and maybe not StarCraft, but maybe Diablo.
Maybe Diablo.
But
Not
I
sure.
know he's got plenty of experience with Heroes of the Storm and WoW at the very least. So I figured he'd be interested in the topic. So it was the perfect week to have him come because I'm sure he isn't very happy with Blizzard either right now with China.
He doesn't care too much. He's apolitical.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody's still pissed off at Blizzard. So.
Even without the China stuff, Blizzard's been making a lot of wrong decisions with a lot of their stuff.
I like to think about the Activision part of their title now. And,
Yes.
And think that that's a significant reason.
Man, whenever Activision goes somewhere, just bad things happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Have you
almost
noticed
as
how
if-
much better Bungie is now that they have left
Man,
night and day? Man, Shadowkeep, that's where it's at. I'm telling you. I'm surprised you still haven't gotten that on your laptop yet.
No, I have Destiny. I haven't bought Shadowkeep.
Okay, gotcha.
the
But-
Drifter's a bad guy.
Yeah, he definitely is. So my question to y'all is, with everything going on with Blizzard, the question if their quality is still there, would you give Overwatch 2 a chance?
No.
What about you, Devontae? Because I know you seem like the type that would actually try it out.
No, like team arena games, like on the esports spectrum, I'm more of a battle royale guy. Like Apex is doing it for me. So
Yeah, Apex is the best of all the battle
I
royales.
don't
The 8-year-olds can
these-
keep at Fortnite.
team arenas. I don't see them lasting much longer.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna die out. Overwatch 2 might be its last one, and I'll try it out, and I'll use it under the guise of I have to try it out for the podcast.
Right. So listen, man, I'm a guy who just I want complexity, and not just for complexity's sake, but just complexity. And Overwatch is simple. And Overwatch
It's
2,
very simple.
Overwatch 2 is only going to step it up to being a MOBA, and it's probably going to be the simplest MOBA in existence. So
It's not really a MOBA; it's still a shooter. It just has some MOBA elements to
well,
it.
I mean, if you like put MOBA clothes on and we call it a MOBA, it's still like the most simple MOBA.
But it
in
doesn't have
existence.
towers, and you don't have to go
Quacks like a
to.
duck.
What is PVE going to be?
We don't know.
We don't know. I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
we don't know what it is.
And does PVE maybe affect PvP? Will
it
you have?
affects the skill tree side of it.
I'm just saying though.
It
man.
might be reversing what Fortnite did because Fortnite had the PVE thing at
Yeah.
first.
That's true.
back when it was the game that
hordes,
we wanted to actually do.
survival hordes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that game was
Buried,
buried.
gone.
Yeah,
No one remembers it, but I do.
I actually remembered it, and I almost pre-ordered the beta I really was
No, I
interested
was-
in the original version of Fortnite.
to construct and fight off a
I wanted to get it.
Yeah.
right, and then it became what it is now, and no one cares. But
Poor
originally-
Epic.
yeah. Oh, I mean, not poor Epic. Epic is horrible. Epic
There's
deserves
no
everything
poor
it
Epic,
gets.
man. They got so much money they could make another version of that Fortnite if they wanted to and still be doing okay.
Right?
They fumbled the ball though.
Yeah,
Never forget. They can fumble again.
yeah,
I hope they fumble out of business.
not happening. They ain't
Not right
going
now.
anywhere.
Look, those children have to grow up one day.
They almost they don't have as much in the bank account as Nintendo saved back, but they got some money saved back in the bank now. They ain't
Yeah.
going anywhere anytime soon.
mean, I hope they just keep buying exclusives and burn that piggy bank all the way down. And then
Yeah,
run
I
out
don't
of-
know why they keep doing that because they're just making the PC community hate them more and more by the day.
Anything that goes to Epic, I just refuse. And some of my favorite games of all time, Borderlands and Metro Last Light. Well, just the Metro series. Went over to Borderlands and went over to Epic and I was just like, nah, we're solid. We're good.
I like Epic. If you wanna,
I don't
send a
like their
sponsor.
store.
No, please.
I don't like how they
Okay.
burn the memory on my computer when I run it.
How about you don't even have a sharpen card? Man, it's the most underdeveloped platform for a freaking launcher
Yeah, have
in
you
existence.
seen their launcher? Have you messed with it or anything?
Yeah, I mean it's new. Like give it time.
Yeah,
It's
but they need to figure out
garbage.
why they're using up all my memory.
Once upon a time, Steam was garbage too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
decades ago when it was acceptable to be so.
Hey, they just starting out. Give
In
'em time.
2018, 19, I don't
They
care.
have
They started
no
in 18.
idea
Yeah.
what they're doing. There's baby steps.
That
Yeah.
is not a positive. Why do you keep saying negative things like they're positive? It's just like, oh, it's exclusive. That's not a positive.
Perspective, Dane.
Yeah, man,
Perspective.
that's totally perspective.
Like,
They're just getting started. Like,
It's like you seeing a younger version of
Okay,
yourself and
okay.
saying this is unacceptable.
No.
I don't like
no.
the exclusive aspect of it though. That exclusive should not be a thing in the PC market.
no,
Yeah,
it
Battle-
shouldn't.
Battle-
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Right, but more importantly, BattleNet was acceptable. Origin
Not
launcher-
anymore.
I mean, my point being was BattleNet was acceptable at launch.
Yeah,
Origin was acceptable at launch.
it's garbage.
Even Ubisoft was acceptable at launch.
You play? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
I hate you play.
But regardless, it was functional and acceptable, and it had a sharpen card. No.
The annoying part with Uplay is whenever I want to play my game via Steam, it forces me to log into Uplay. I don't want to have to log into their crappy.
Start doing
service.
it on console too. on
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. And
Yes, they do it.
Division.
They do it on their the consoles now too.
And
That
Epic
makes
is
sense.
worse.
That's overkill.
And Epic is worse. Period. I just
Give it time. Give Epic like 4 more years. Epic will be on top.
hope it crashes and burns.
I don't think it'll happen. Fortnite makes them too much money, and with that money, it'll give them time to
Yes.
develop another game because essentially, they're actually getting sued over in the UK because they actually did research to essentially make the game addicting to children, and so they'll use that formula again for
They're-
another game.
Horrible.
Yeah,
Okay, can we summarize it in simple terms? The Epic Store is just
it is very blank slate. I do appreciate that they're giving me free games. You know, that's nice. I never play any of the games that they give me, but they're free.
Abzu's been pretty good.
All I'm saying is that I have a list of free games from them, and when their thing isn't garbage, then maybe I'll finally play games from it.
I'm never going to join that ship. I'm going to sit over here and be by myself.
That's okay. You can be part of the Steam party.
Remember this episode.
I'm not even a Steam party. I don't actually like the way Steam handles a lot of things.
Yeah,
Dane doesn't like anything. Oh my god.
and you talk about Matt being Mr. Negative.
It's like everything. He has a negative for it.
I'm very
I'm at least
critical.
optimistic.
Nah.
A little.
Yeah, see, you don't need the title Mr. Negative.
There's a balance to all things.
Yeah,
I'm critical.
Yeah, Mr. Critical and Mr. Negative.
yeah. I don't know what I am. I know what you are. You're Mr. I can dig it. I really need to put you in the
On the
soundboard.
soundboard.
Yeah.
Just clip it out of one episode.
Yeah, I can actually have him recorded on here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I might do that during the break.
But anyway. So look, all I'm saying is that I cannot support that type of system. It's just not good. It's not worth it. It's not right. That is my soul whenever Epic is mentioned.
I had to
I
use
think
the
I love
crickets at
y'all.
least once. I'm sorry, people. I got new sound effects for my board. I'm excited. I want to try to use them. Want to have an opportunity.
I feel you.
And the opportunity was there.
But Overwatch, no.
No to Overwatch 2. I think it's kind of a dead game now too.
All right.
With
so 4
the-
out of 4, no.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
I mean, I say no too. I will probably try it though.
I'm kind of the opinion that you are. Like, it's got such a rich universe that we don't need another shooter to come out of this universe.
I want it to be. I don't. Why would you make a Overwatch 2 in the first place? The way that game's designed, I understand why, so that they can make money because the loot box system is.
Why would you make another Call of Duty?
I know, but it's a different setup game.
Yeah,
It was set up.
Fortnite.
Yeah, set up similar to like a Fortnite style game, but then everything started blowing up in their face about loot boxes. So now they're having to find a new system to make money. So that's why they're making Overwatch 2. I mean, I think that Overwatch 2 is pointless, but I understand from the money aspect why they're making an Overwatch 2. I still have an issue with it as a consumer.
Yep.
That's essentially it. I do not like the practices that Activision and Blizzard have with their games.
And that's not negative.
Is that Activision word again?
Activision is garbage. I forgot where was it. They also mentioned about how basically how it was gonna make money off the game and stuff like that. But it was to do with like new skins and stuff like that. It was gonna be different from the loot box system, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Like a MOBA.
Yeah,
Or
more
Battle
similar to like the
Pass.
mobile. No, it was going to be. They never mentioned Battle Pass. I think it's going to be more similar to a MOBA.
Yep.
To where you know what you're getting, so you can buy that certain skin that you want and stuff
Which
like
is,
that.
By the way, just going to let them remonetize the game
Yes,
all over again.
because they're
And
bringing back all the heroes from the first one and just adding new ones once a month, or not once a month, but once every blue moon.
So, yeah, no.
Anyways, so we're actually going to take a short break. We have a few more topics to discuss, but for our audio listeners, I'm trying to remember to put a commercial break in between so that way we can do quick advertisements for them. Once we get some more viewers on YouTube, there probably will be an advertisement in between for that too. But in the meantime, we will be right back. Please come back and listen and watch some more. We would appreciate